Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I've come across an article that I was just sort of Googling around that's on how to learn programming if you are older. Step-by-step guide, and it's from Columbia Engineering. And as someone who is learning to program that is a little bit older, this is a perfect article. I thought maybe we could all learn something. So let's go through it together. So the article starts off by saying, why should older adults learn to code? It's a bit of a silly question. Is it? I don't know about that, but okay. After all, our motivations for learning to code, how to code, generally persist across age groups and demographics. Curiosity could drive people into programming, yeah, or maybe they're just crazy. Or perhaps aspiring coders like problem solving. Yes, that's true. I do like problem solving. And want to shift into a career that lets them do so all day, every day. Obviously, it's trying to sort of highlight that that's basically all you'll be doing. Or maybe they just want a new hobby and coding seemed interesting enough. I mean, probably. If you are someone that enjoys challenging yourself and really putting yourself in a place that really pushes you intellectually. Seniors and older adults don't need some special excuse to learn to code. There you go. Columbia Engineering just said so believe it, okay? Like anyone else, they just need the willpower to do so. Yes, I agree. But we get it, learning to code can be intimidating. In this article, we'll walk you through the basics of how to learn coding if you're older. Along the way, we'll also give you some brief introductions to some of the most popular programming frameworks to use today. Okay, thank you very much. This could be interesting. So, are you too old to learn programming? Let's get this out of the way. No, you're not too old to learn to program. There isn't an age limit on learning to code. Thank you very much. And there never was. This is, something that I think for me, it's like trying to get this through my head, like stop thinking that this is not for you. You can do this. You guys can do it as well. So let's keep just like smashing this into our heads that this is not a skill that is far beyond us. We can all learn it. But all too often, insecurity and uncertainty compel older adults to put a ceiling on their achievement potential. Yes, that is very true. We've all heard these lines. Why do we keep doing this to ourselves, guys? A career change at my age, impossible. Younger people just learn this technical stuff faster than I can. I'm too old to pick up a new language, much less a programming language. Sure, I mean, I'm sure that we all say this to ourselves. Every excuse radiates uncertainty. And honestly, who could blame a senior for thinking that way? Now, yes, true. In popular culture, older folks are most always stereotypes as hunt and peck typers who need help navigating computer systems and apps. Okay, I'm starting to understand that maybe this article is for a demographic that might be a little bit older than me. I mean, I don't think I really consider myself to be a hunt and peck typist. I type quite well. Anyway, younger people were taught are the tech-savvy digital natives. There's no way that older adults can hope to keep up with them. Think, how often have you seen the sitcom trope of older relatives calling on techie-minded 20-something for computer troubleshooting or complaining about the woes of digital life? Unfortunately, these all too common stereotypes are far from benign. Over the years, they have played a role in subtly disenfranchising and undermining society's most experienced and wise denizens. So yeah, I mean, look, like I said, this is obviously an article for someone that's probably a little bit older than me, maybe even a little bit older than you. But, it's giving you some encouragement, just telling you, don't worry about what young people are doing. You've got years of experience. You can, if you've got problem solving abilities as well, you can also learn to program. Unfortunately, I don't think this article is directly targeted at, people in their 30s or 40s. But anyway, I digress. Negative stereotypes can have harmful consequences for the quality of life of older adults, okay, and can also result in major loss to society. One researcher for the US National Research Council Committee on Aging wrote on the matter that with increases in life expectancy as well as reduced infirmity, many adults are aging well, but negative stereotypes of aging may put society at risk of losing the contributions of these vital and knowledgeable people. Okay, you should know your worth, no matter your age. Don't let these stereotypes rob you of your confidence and curiosity. Okay, let's just keep moving on. Why do you want to code in the first place? Before you can embark on your educational journey, you need to first assess your motivations and goals. So I think that's really important. Like, why are you doing this in the first place? You know, because obviously there's going to be a lot of times where you're just completely like wanting to throw something at your computer. And so in those particular moments, you have to sort of grasp onto what your goals are. If you're looking at coding because you want to have a career change, if you're looking at learning to code because you want to build something, if you're looking to learn to code because you want to just understand more about computers and technology, then you really need to have kind of a strong sort of driving force as to why you're doing this. I've been doing this now for close to 4 months consistently. I've done some in the past, but not on a consistent basis, but consistently been learning it. And obviously there's times where I'm just like, I freaking can't stand this anymore. Like, why am I doing this to myself? But I've got a pretty strong why. I want to build these skills because, like I've said earlier, I want to build an application. And who knows, I think it might offer more opportunities as well in the future. So, that's kind of the reason why. You've probably got a similar reason. Maybe you want to change your career. Maybe you want to, provide more for your family, whatever it is. Make sure you've got that strong why, because if you don't have that, then you're probably going to just stop, because let's be honest, it ain't easy. All right, so below we'll touch on some of the most common reasons that older learners tend to gravitate towards coding. So career opportunities. In an economy increasingly driven by tech, it's only natural that coding would become the centerpiece of modern life. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, job openings in software developers are slated to grow by 12% between 2018 and 2028, and that's more than 4 times the average rate of all other careers. Wow, that's an interesting fact. That is an interesting fact. I didn't know that. So software developing jobs are going to be increasing by 21% between, obviously we're in 2024 now, so over the next 4 years, they're going to grow more than any other industry. It's funny, you read stats like this, but then you hear about how brutal it is in the job market to apply for software developer jobs. This kind of false sense of hope that some of these articles give you. You just wonder, if it's growing by this much, why are so many people struggling to get into the tech industry? Why do you keep reading about this, in forums, on Reddit, on even on channels on YouTube about how difficult it is to get into the tech industry, yet they're telling us, it's booming. I don't know, what do you believe? It's hard to sort of decipher this information. But even if you're not looking to make a career pivot into development, programming will soon become relevant to nearly every position in the job market. That, I think, is 100% true. In some respect, you're going to have to know something about programming to do any job in the future. Mainly because we are going to be using more and more technology with, whether it's through AI, whether it's through robotics, whatever it is, the technology is becoming more and more part of everyone's future. So understanding the fundamentals of programming is going to be essential to be able to work with technology. So industries far and wide rely on software frameworks to uphold their workflow administration. Trust AI to automate their processes and use digital tools to connect with their customers. Yeah, exactly. Today, marketing, customer outreach, finance, healthcare, and education all rely on digital devices and computational logic, at least in some small way. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. So, this is the importance of having this sort of foundation in programming, is to work with these technologies. There is no doubt about it, digital literacy is important no matter your age. So one of the big obstacles in a job interview when you're older is that people think you're inflexible and can't learn new things. This is what Liz has to say. She's 60 years old. Coding gave me an edge. I developed a confidence I didn't have before. I have to say, this is really true. I mean, over this past sort of time that I've dedicated to learn to code, I have developed a lot of confidence just in general. And I feel it's because you're kind of learning this sort of superpower in a way, that you feel that if you want to go out and create something, especially, for yourself, you can go and do it. Like, you can actually open up your code editor now and you can build the things that you've been thinking about in your head for quite some time. You can actually go out and build them. And so, sticking with the process and learning how to code, it does have this sort of builds your self-esteem, it builds your confidence, because now you're like, hold on a second, like I can see these technologies, I can see these websites, I can see these programs, and I can sort of understand, at least, in like kind of holistically how they work. And I can actually go out and, with a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, maybe figure out how to do this. So something comes to me is that I was at a barbecue the other day and someone was telling me about an app that a friend of theirs is building, and sort of described the app to me and just told me how much money they were paying to get this app done. And I thought, man, you know what? With a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, I could easily learn to build that same application that he's talking about. And they've blown so much money to build this, because they're obviously going to a web app company and they're building it all for them. They don't really have a tech background, but just kind of listening to how much people sort of rely on consultants that have these abilities, and knowing that, hold on a second, like I've got some of these abilities now as well. It's a real confidence boost. Anyway, coding opens up a wide array of professional doors for seniors and adults. Okay. So why else? Because you're building a personal project. Yep, this is something that I'm obviously doing. I'm interested in computer programming. Are you interested in computer programming but don't necessarily want to pivot your career? Don't worry, you've got options. Many seniors learn to code for the sake of building a website or app. Exactly. If you want to dabble without committing to a specific technology, building a pet project is the way to go. I completely agree, and it's probably the best way to learn to code. You've heard it a million times online, you've read it a million times, but honestly, that it's true. If you want to learn, you've gotta like figure something out and just build a project. And it doesn't have to be like a crazy original idea. It could just be anything. Like, I mean, the other day I was just, I was in the kitchen and I was trying to figure out, what was the problem? See, I can't even remember the problem now, because I write these things down. Hold on, let me have a look. I generally write a lot of these notes down. And that's right. I wanted to create, like, stuff runs out of my pantry all the time, right? It always just runs out. And sometimes it's the things that stuff runs out in my pantry all the time. Stuff runs out in everyone's pantry all the time, Jake. Nothing special about that. Anyway, our pantries, the food runs out in the pantries. Anyway, stuff was running out. The sugar, specifically, the sugar. Man, I hate when the sugar runs out and you're about to make that coffee in the morning and you got no freaking sugar, and you're just like, I right then and there thought, why isn't there any technology that reminds me that I should replace the sugar in the pantry? And I thought maybe, I could build something where either I sort of keep track of, all the pantry items on an application. I don't know, like even like thinking abstractly, like I could create this little weight mechanism that I can put the sugar on, and it sort of is always sort of periodically weighing the sugar and pings something to an application that I've created. Anyway, I was just going through all these ideas in my head. The point that I'm trying to make is, like, when you come across a problem in your life, think about how you can use technology to create like an app for it, or to build something for it. That's like an original idea that you guys can work on if you're trying to learn to code. Anyway, that's all I kind of want to touch on that. And this is, we're sort of still on the topic of why you want to learn to code, to continue your learning as well, and entertainment. I mean, there's no doubt that learning to code is going to help you be a better thinker, help you think logically a lot easier. It's just, like, you're problem solving constantly. And so, like, when you're in your day-to-day life, you're also problem solving as well. It's just, it is a really good skill to build, for also the cognitive benefits of it as well. Okay, so let's go to another one. So the skills you'll need for each discipline. Below, we've provided a short list of some of the most important programming languages used for professionals. So in career building, they're recommending planning to make a career switch for those of you that are looking to get into a career as a developer, while researchers for HackerRank's 2020 developer skills report note that 1 in 5 hiring managers in the US is language agnostic when seeking new hires. Many opt for those with specific training. Currently, the most sought after languages in the US include JavaScript, Python, Java, C#, and C++. Now, I'm obviously learning JavaScript at the moment. I've done some Python before in the past, but like JavaScript just seems to be just getting bigger and bigger and bigger every single year. I mean, the more that we're using the internet and browsers, JavaScript is just always going to be around. Anyway, from my understanding, it's going to be very, very difficult to replace. There you go. If you're looking to career change, you should probably be focusing on JavaScript because, from some of the research that I've done as well, getting a job as a front-end developer is going to be a lot easier than getting a job as a software engineer, especially if you don't have a technical background, mainly because they're looking for people with computer science degrees. So if you haven't got a computer science degree, a CS degree, you're probably looking at more sort of your front-end kind of web developer work, full stack, that sort of thing. And JavaScript is going to be your number one, tool for that. And then, if you're looking to get into software engineering, kind of like, machine learning, AI, then Python is probably going to be the best one for that as well. Let's keep going down. Building a personal project. Obviously, you're going to need to know HTML, CSS. Guys, go through, if you haven't got your fundamentals down for HTML, CSS, man, free Codecamp, their responsive web design course. It's unbelievable. It's going to teach you so much. I highly recommend going through that course and just finishing it. It might be a bit annoying because you might repeat yourself, but man, it's such a good course. It's going to give you such a great foundation of HTML, CSS. And then obviously when you get to JavaScript, you're going to want to jump off a cliff, but you'll have some of the fundamentals down for HTML, CSS. So what else? Some of these other languages, Scratch, Swift is obviously the a developer language for Apple applications and obviously for Android applications. So if you want to get into application development, then Swift is probably something that you should be looking at as well. So yeah, look, overall pretty good article. Final thoughts, if you've ever wondered, can a 60-year-old learn computer science? Obviously, like I said, this article now, it's for someone a lot older. Yeah, if you've ever wondered, can a 60-year-old learn computer science? It's becoming a programmer at 50 impossible. Am I too old to be a programmer? You're not alone. While some mistakenly believe programming for older adults is an impossibility, their stereotypes are leagues away from the truth. Wow, it's quite a wordy sort of final thought. As those with a few decades of life experience tend to know, the moments we most regret are not the ones where we tried and failed. They are the ones when we never tried. They are the ones that we never tried to begin with. And that's a good quote. I think that's from Michael Jordan, 100% of the shots you miss are the ones you don't take. I can't remember whose quote that was. Anyway, guys, to sum up, pretty good article. I felt like it was relevant, maybe not as relevant if you are sort of the same age demographic that I'm in. Some really good steps there on, how to think about developing this skill if you're a bit older. I think that they could probably add a few more things in here, like, what to think about in terms of building a daily habit towards learning to code, maybe some more free resources that they could have provided that would have helped to learn, computer programming. I've obviously provided you one with free Codecamp here as well. Anyway, there's always more that you can add to these articles, but I thought that was cool, thought that was relevant. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.